Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
This is your host, Alicia Dubrell from Insight Media. Today's guest is Dr. Manja Podratz, a heart-certified coach, mentor, author, and intuitive healer. She helps women to reconnect with their wild woman inside, to heal their inner child, trust their inner wisdom, to overcome challenging times, and be empowered to realize their true, strong, intuitive, and creative self. So, without further ado, I want to welcome Dr. Manja Podratz to the show. Hi, Manja. How are you today?
Hi, Alicia. I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me today. I'm really excited to be here.
It's my pleasure. This is going to be good. So, can you just tell me a little bit about yourself and why you wanted to be a coach?
I'd be glad to. Thank you so much for asking this. Well, it started with me experiencing some severe health challenges. Over 20 years ago, I was diagnosed with uterine cancer and healed myself by making some drastic lifestyle and diet changes. And unfortunately, only a year later, I experienced some severe spinal injury and again had to go through a period of healing and nurturing that injury. So I can truthfully say that I had my share of challenges in life. Thankfully, today, all that is many years ago. So today I'm a mom of 3 healthy sons and knew I had to overcome all obstacles and get my life back on track in order to give my children the best guidance into their future life. So in 2006, I published a book about all this in Germany and Austria and Switzerland. And it's all about vegan eating, natural pregnancy, natural birthing. Was very well received by women, midwives alike, and really started my journey on educating others about the importance of an optimal diet and holistic health. So it was all about empowering, especially those women that experienced a miscarriage or had difficulties conceiving, to trust their feminine ability to be life bearer again. So I took a detour. I hold a PhD in media studies and a PhD in theory of architecture, and I was a college teacher for 11 years. However, it was that so many people, friends, neighbors, family members approached me with questions about just how to stay focused in life, how to be a good mom, how to get healthy and overcome health challenges, that I decided to go into coaching. And I understand coaching as being something that makes use of a really comprehensive toolbox to help people elevate their level of abundance and well-being. So much that I decided to dedicate my life to help others to heal from painful life events and boost their physical performance, create happiness and joy and freedom from energetic blockages in their life. So, and today I am working here in my practice in Alabama as a certified hypnotherapist, life coach, a Reiki master. I am a registered yoga teacher as well, and registered as a medical interpreter as well. So I offer all my services bilingual.
So you've been through so much in your life, and you've just gone through some and overcome some amazing things. Can you tell me a little bit more about, you have cancer and you healed yourself? How did you do that?
Well, I was diagnosed with uterine cancer when I was only 20 years old, and I was actually scheduled for a hysterectomy. I knew that I want to be a mom in my life. And so I told my gynecologist, I'm sorry, but I want to have children and you can't have my organ. What you offer me here is crippling and not healing. So I was very fortunate to have a dad who's very much into healthy living and who offered me some guidance and encouragement. And what I did is I started fasting. I fasted to really consequently detox my body and literally starve the cancer out of my body. I wrote several chapters in my book about that. And so after fasting for several weeks, I chose a plant-based diet because there's significant scientific research out there how animal proteins and sugar actually feed tumor cells and promote abnormal cell growth. So choosing a plant-based diet, staying away from anything processed, actually healed my body. It took several months, but I also had the firm belief that with us being women and going through a menstrual cycle every month, that there's got to be a way to influence if our uterus produces healthy cells or produces abnormal cells. And yes, after about 9 months changing my diet, my cell value started improving. And today I am a mom of 3 healthy children.
That's a beautiful story. I love it. That gives so much hope out to so many other people out there. I've actually heard of a story of another friend of mine's mom who did something similar to what you're talking about. And I was like, holy cow, I didn't even know you could do something like that. So it's really cool to know that not only does it work, and there are other options out there, but then you can also have, kids and kind of move on and
yes,
continue life. What type of clients do you usually work with?
Primarily women and literally from all walks of life. Young women, more mature women who come to me for chakra rebalancing, for self-care, and also women who need guidance in mastering challenges with their physical health or mental well-being.
Okay. Well, you work with a wide variety with different issues or obstacles, and they're trying to get past them. So how do you help women that are going through hormonal issues, whether it be PMS, fertility, or menopause, or something like that?
Okay. When it comes to fixing hormonal issues, looking at what we eat is often the first step. Sometimes it's about what needs to be left out of a diet, like foods that may trigger hormonal responses, for example, sugar or gluten. And sometimes it's about figuring out what is missing in a diet, such as selenium or zinc or magnesium. And often I encourage my clients to get proper blood work done so that we know with certainty if there are any deficiencies or underlying infections or not. For instance, if I ask a woman that struggles with getting pregnant if she was ever tested for chlamydia, or before I give any advice to a hypothyroid client, I ask her if she knows if she is iodine deficient or not. You see, all the coaching in the world, motivating and educating a person and teaching them about transforming their habits and limiting beliefs doesn't help when there is an underlying physical cause that needs to be addressed first. In case my clients experience more severe symptoms, I encourage them to go and see a medical doctor and get a thorough assessment and diagnosis done. Should there be any clinical issues, I leave proper medication to the physician or endocrinologist they are working with. And then I offer alternative enhancements such as energy healing and coaching to improve time management and sleep habits, etc. With regard to coaching, it is often advisable to work on erasing limiting beliefs. I think that way too many women unnecessarily suffer and don't live their lives at the level of quality they deserve because of deep-rooted limiting beliefs, causing low self-esteem, lack of self-worth, feeling unlovable, undeserving, or even ashamed. And all those limiting beliefs keep women from practicing proper self-care. Women in our modern society are very good at demanding a lot from themselves, but they often need a reminder to be permissive with themselves to keep things balanced. Some physical symptoms develop due to underlying psychological causes, and I teach my clients how to master their inner game.
I like it. That's pretty powerful stuff. So you kind of touched on this in the last question, but so what if you're working with a woman who's got more of an immune system problem due to an illness, or maybe they're going through chemotherapy? Is the coaching process the same, whether it's something about fertility or whether it's them trying to get over an illness from a health issue other than fertility? Is the process the same to help them get healthy again?
It really depends on the individual situation. Generally, I educate all my clients about healthy eating. Clients that experience autoimmune diseases such as Hashimoto's or celiac disease, lupus, or multiple sclerosis, I educate them about healthy eating and the importance of a healthy gut. So I offer guidance in making positive changes. Sometimes I even offer them cooking classes to introduce certain vegetables or herbs or teach them about fermentation and then make suggestions how they can include it into their regular diet. Clients that seek support while going through chemotherapy are so far different that they need more nurturing, which I offer through Reiki healing and guided meditation. I firmly believe that keeping the mind at peace is beneficial because it helps to keep stress hormones at a low in the body and in the brain. Additionally, I offer private yoga sessions to teach the clients that go through chemotherapy poses that are both accessible and strengthen their bodies. Chemotherapy patients often experience cumulative radiation fatigue, and yoga has been proven to improve energy levels and contribute to a positive attitude. So I hope that's made this a little more clear.
It does. The mindset and where your mind is a very powerful tool, and it can also cripple you at the same time, depending on where your head's at. So another specialty that you have is helping women that have experienced a traumatic experience. So how does that process work?
See, working with women and helping them overcome traumatic experience, again, has a lot to do with my own biography. I survived physical and sexual assault and miscarriage and also domestic abuse. So all traumatic experiences that caused feelings of grief and uselessness and vulnerability and depression in me. So I know what it feels like to be trapped in emotional overwhelm and apathy, feelings of help and hopelessness. I also know the steps to get over it and come out stronger. Some of my clients experienced rape, some experienced the loss of a child, and they connect with me because they sense that my care for them is authentic, and because they see me as a living example of going from being down in the mud back to standing and smiling face towards the sun. So you ask how the process works. The major difference between therapy and coaching is that therapy goes back into the story and talks about the past event, about what happened. Coaching, on the other hand, focuses on the future. The emphasis is on from now on. I coach my clients to make a shift so that past events can be left where they belong, in the past. And then I help my clients through intuitive guidance to reconnect with their true purpose and teach them the steps to take to align their lives with that purpose towards a fulfilling and liberating and empowered future. In order to achieve these results for my clients, I usually use my proven 5-step signature coaching program.
Okay, so I have a question on this. If somebody's gone through a real traumatic experience, like recently, would you suggest them go through therapy first to kind of deal with what happened and then go through to somebody like you who's a coach to kind of move forward? Or can they kind of skip the therapy and just try to put it in the past and, move on?
It really, again, depends on the individual situation. If there are any other health issues involved or any other mental challenges involved where they have been treated before, or if they are currently taking medication for their mental health issues, I sometimes suggest that they speak with their therapist and work through them. Sometimes if a client says, you know what, I'm just ready to get my life back, then I suggest that they come work with me. What I require is a firm yes. So coaching tools can be extremely powerful, and the tools I use include hypnosis, include neurokinesis, and they can be very powerful, getting clients right back here in the now and looking forward and moving on with their life. However, as I said, it depends how many things come together, how many layers need to be worked on. Sometimes I'd suggest to partner with a therapist, and sometimes I'd suggest to just go right into coaching. But it absolutely depends on how ready the client is. So it really depends on how ready the client is. I work on a hotline several times a week, providing suicide crisis interventions. And there are clients where it is not just enough to talk them out of the current crisis, but where they need all the help they can get. And sometimes this help includes medication. And at that point, I'm not the right person to work with because I'm not able to prescribe anything or provide a proper diagnosis or anything like that. But I have seen clients of mine being in suicidal state and with the proper guidance come out of it and make the shifts and walk on with their lives stronger than ever.
That's good stuff. So I want to talk a little bit about unhealthy environments and addictions. Is the help you bring to the table, because unhealthy environments and addictions are kind of the same thing, in my head at least. It's always wanting that if it's negative, the unhealthy environment, or if it's an addiction to, alcohol or, drugs or whatever. How do you help people get out of those types of situations?
Okay, so there are certain modalities that apply every time. For instance, meditation is an important tool to rebalance the chemicals in the brain. It is not just about practicing mindfulness and sitting down, being still. I use certain Tibetan meditation techniques that specifically focus on making shifts in the chemical balance in the brain. So bringing stress hormones down and serotonin levels up. Furthermore, life coaching is a modality that is always beneficial to transform unhealthy habits and improve the environment. So as well as healing of past wounds through energy work and chakra balancing. So all those tools apply to almost every one of my clients. However, when it comes to overcoming addiction, I additionally like to include hypnosis into the work. And so far, I was successfully able to help clients overcome painkiller addiction or alcohol and tobacco addiction, gambling, and even internet pornography. However, sometimes my clients work with a therapist and come to me just for the hypnosis part. Sometimes clients come to me because of issues they want to clear in a life that has nothing to do with their addiction problem. So sometimes they come to me because of issues such as anxiety or trouble sleeping through the night. And then it already happened several times that after working with me for several sessions, the client comes and says, hey, you know what, Manja? I didn't even make this my priority for my work with you, but I didn't smoke in 3 weeks. Or they say, you know what, I stopped taking my medication a month ago and I'm feeling better than ever. And I've tried this before and it was so hard. But this time I didn't even experience withdrawal symptoms. And they say, thank you so much. So honestly, it can be pretty emotional to hear testimonials like that. And it makes me immensely humble and very happy to be part of such profound healing experiences.
No, definitely. Being able to help somebody who's struggling in such horrible ways and just struggling with themselves and struggling in general, it has to be very humbling and very, just to let you know that you're doing the right thing when you hear those kind of testimonials from your clients. So you also talk about the 5 areas in which you coach, in which you help your clients. You mentioned it in a previous answer. Can you go into a little bit details about what those 5 areas are?
Sure, I'd be happy to tell you more. Thank you for asking this. So I call the first step clarifying your direction. And clarifying your direction includes developing a real crystal clear vision of where you are headed. And then we together strategize your actions, which means breaking things up into smaller steps to avoid overwhelm and to really support accountability. It is about setting markers for smaller successes along the way so that we then can celebrate together to maintain a highly motivated vibe. The third step includes that we determine if you need to upgrade your skills. And that can include anything from, as I mentioned before, learning how to cook healthy meals, to time management, to confidence, to financial literacy, or just generally making dietary choice to help make your lifestyle changes last, we then optimize your environment. And that again can include anything from your bedroom, your fridge and dry pantry, your entire home, office, social network, outfits. And this work is always customized to your individual situation. And then the last step is really a crucial one, which means that I coach you to master your psychology. And actually, I believe that this is the actual healing part. While all the other steps are more about organizing your life and staying on track, where I can be pretty strict with you, by the way, the healing part is the nurturing part. So it is all about where you create the mindset that completes your transformation. So that is the 5-step program. And by really wording it out like this, it may become clear why coaching programs usually last 3 to 6 months, because all of this cannot be done in a single session.
No, I would imagine that the change takes a little bit of time to get through. So, and that actually brings me right to my next question, which is, how long do you typically work with your clients? So that's, you said about 6 months?
Yeah, it depends. Like a single session takes usually 60 to 75 minutes. And I do have clients that come just for, let's say, like maintenance, or like wellness. And they just come for an individual Reiki session or a guided meditation. So, but when it comes to coaching programs, they take anywhere from 3 to 6 months. And it really varies. Some clients, when they seek help from recovering from illness, they come only for like 3 to 5 one-on-one sessions and then join a group program. Sometimes specific treatments, such as yoga as an enhancement for physical therapy, can take 4 to 6 weeks and then hopefully dismisses with the ability to be able to participate in regular yoga group classes again. So, and then again, most coaching clients sign up for 3 to 6 months in order to make real transformational changes with regard to their habits. And these programs, they focus on achieving a specific goal. Some clients work with me for 3 months individually and then move on with their life. And then they come back a year later and request help with the next chapter in their lives or with reaching their next goal. Usually I work with my clients once per week in a program, and in between our meetings or sessions, they can take place one-on-one, face-to-face, or they can also take place virtually online or on the phone. So however, in between the sessions, I offer email support or phone guidance.
And how do you know you're the right coach for your client, or the client is the right, one for you?
Mm-hmm. Very good question. So I usually offer a free introductory session. And in this session, I explain my coaching and all the tools I have available to use. And then the client tells about herself. And so I explain my coaching similarly to the way I just did. And so I include that I let my client know about what I ask from them. So I let them know about the time and financial commitment, about the personal readiness that I ask from her. So as I said earlier, it's all about saying yes. And then usually the introductory session is a bit more than just talking about guidelines and procedures, So, but we dive right into the work. So my client gets a taste of what working with me really feels like and can go home with the first insight or inspiration or first aha. And then we go from there.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. So can you maybe clear up a few myths or misconceptions that people may have about working with a coach like you that specializes in the areas that you do? Because you definitely have unique techniques and style. So,
So things that can keep a client from signing up, working with me, sometimes it is that they may expect me to do the work for them. So that of course doesn't work. Like making lifestyle changes or changing habits is always the person that making the change for themselves. I cannot do that for them. I can provide the guidance and teach them the how-to, teach them the steps to get there. But the actual shift has to be an individual and internal one. So sometimes people think that I could replace a medical diagnosis or proper medical treatment, and I cannot. Some people even think that energy healing is connected to any religious practice. And that's another misconception, because it is not. Energy healing has nothing to do with any religious practice. Some people expect miracles, so expect that change happens instantly. And also, as I said before, just one individual session is not enough to change the whole life around. It takes some time. Healing takes time. Changing habits takes time. Achieving goals takes time. So it's not an instant procedure. And then it is all about the tools I offer. It has to click. Some people really connect with the tools I offer, and some people say, nah, Reiki is not for me, or hypnosis or meditation is not for me. Some people think health coaching is all about weight loss. And I'm not so much focusing on weight loss coach. I'm about really reaching your optimal health and your optimal weight, your optimal healthy eating, lifestyle, all that. So all these can be reasons for not coming together and work with each other. So, and I try to make all that clear in the introductory session.
How do you adapt to all the different types of clients that you work with? You work with so many women with so many different issues. How do you adapt to each one, and so how that you know what works?
I know it sounds like, oh my gosh, this is so much. What exactly does she do now? So, but the way I approach it is that I basically meet all my clients the same way. I try to see them as a person. So that does not, so I do not see them as a patient or as a client or marked and categorized by a certain type of challenge in their life, but I simply meet them as a human being. And creating that crystal clear, exciting vision for their life, no matter if that refers to better health, better work, performance, money, mental peace, it doesn't matter. It starts with knowing exactly what we want the outcome to be like. And then it continues as described with the 5-step program. You know the saying, give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. So teach him how to fish and you feed him for life. So I don't sell a weight loss pill that makes you lose 5 pounds this bikini season, and once the next holiday season comes around, you need to start it all over. I'm teaching you how to have so much self-love and self-respect that you naturally treat yourself to health and well-being, giving an inspirational role model to your loved ones, and live your life joyfully, without anxiety, without procrastination, just joyfully. So mine is a holistic approach, thinking of all areas of our lives as being intertwined. As I said earlier, sometimes clients sign up with me to work on anxiety, and then we end up treating an addiction. Sometimes they sign up with me, because they come out of chemotherapy, but then we end up talking about all the root causes that even got them into such a bad state of health that their body developed cancer. So it is often a peeling away layer by layer. And this is how I approach it. There may be a woman coming to me because she has a hard time coping with grief in her life. But then it ends up getting her ready to maybe go out and enter a new relationship, and entering a new relationship from a standpoint of confidence and high self-esteem and self-love, instead of feeling devastated and intimidated and broken. That wherever we are, it is always not just this one thing. It's not just treating one symptom or one issue, but it is seeing the whole person. And as I said, peeling away layer by layer. What is a misconception or an unhealthy habit in your life today? Where does it come from? what did it cause in your life on the physical, mental, emotional.
So tell me, what do you think sets you aside from other coaches in your industry?
I think first of all, it's my lived experience. I have hit rock bottom in my life as well. I had my share of challenges, but I also have pretty good training. I just can't stop it. It's me. I just need to learn more and more. I just want to learn more and more and understand how we human beings work. And so I am committed myself to continuous training and do not just rely on what I know already. So, but I'm also a boy's mom, so I can be pretty strict and direct if I have to. And I am also pretty intuitive. So I understand my job as holding space for my clients to heal and to be nurtured. I always customize my programs for individuals, not just like one program, like one cookie cutter fits them all. So, and I said earlier, I really take the time to work through all layers, the physical, mental, emotional, and energetic layers to really achieve a lasting result and holistic health for my clients. All that together is what makes my approach and not somebody else's.
So if somebody wanted to get a hold of you for your services, how would they go about doing that?
My website is www.drmanjapodratz.com, and they can learn a lot more about what I offer and get in contact with me. My phone number is 251-234-4771. As said, I offer a free introductory session. Just give me a call to schedule that. You can connect with me through Facebook or LinkedIn, and my Facebook page is called Your Best You. My email address is manja@drmanjapodratz.com.
And can you spell that for us?
Sure, I'd be happy to. It is ManjaPodratz.com.
Nice. Well, Manja, I want to say at first, I love what you do. I love the fact that you reach out and you help so many women with so many different issues. And I love your approach. And I just want to tell you that I really appreciate your time today. And I love how you really have a heart for this, and you really care about helping these women overcome whatever they're trying to overcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I so appreciate your work and help me get the word out about my work. And this is a wonderful service. Thank you very much.
It was my pleasure. All right, guys. You guys just heard from Dr. Manja Podratz. And this is your host, Alicia DeBrell from NAJIT Media. Until next time.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.